Peace, peace. This is your host, Selah-Shalom. And this is the Cosmon Teachings in the words of Jehovah and his angel ambassadors from the Cosmon Bible OAHSPE. And the topic of discussion today is called Science versus Religion. Now, a lot of people separate science and religion based off belief, based off the belief in ignorance. Now, religion has many people believing that God created the earth and heaven, or the heavens and earth, in 7 days. Most people believe that coming from a religious background, when science disproves that. Science shows us that the sun is the center of the solar system, which would be the mother and father of life as we know it, because the sun is the source of life for us on this corporeal planet. But in the Bible, it'll tell you that God created the earth and the heavens, and on the third day he created the fruit yielding trees, he created the herbs and the grass. On the third day now he created these things. But then on the fourth day he creates the sun, moon, and stars. So now we have a conflict in this religious concept, because nature, the science of nature and creation shows us that without the sun, even the moon, and perhaps the stars, that no tree, fruit tree, herb, grass can grow. That's a proven fact. If you take a plant out of sunlight and put it in a dark room for a week, that plant would die. So how can fruit trees, herbs, and grass grow for 24 hours, as some may believe the creation story, or 1,000 years, as some would believe in the creation story? How can a tree grow 1,000 years in darkness without sun, moon, and stars? And then on the fourth day, the sun, moon, and stars are created, and here you have this big tree sitting, coming off the earth. That don't make sense. And not only does it doesn't make sense, it also shows that the trees, herbs, the trees, herbs, and grass are older than the sun. See that? It's older than the sun by 24 hours, depending on who's believing this, the time scale, or 1,000 years. So you had the trees are older than the sun based off the Bible. The herbs are older than the sun based off the Bible. The grass that grows in the green pastures is older than the sun based off the Bible. It's older than the moon, and it's older than the stars. See how ignorant that sounds? That doesn't make no sense. But that's what religion teaches us. See that? But science shows us that the sun would have to come first. The sun would have to even come before the planets. The sun is the sustainer of the planets and everything that is organically grown on the planet. You take away the sun, the planet will dissipate. Now, the sun is the binder, but which holds the sun together is the vortex of the sun itself. The vortex is like a whirlwind. It's like a hurricane, tornado. That's the description of it. And at the base of this whirlwind, tornado, vortex is the sun. And on the outskirts of the vortex of the sun are the whirling planets in their vortices. See that? That's what creation and the science of creation shows us. But religion doesn't show us that the sun is the head and everything falls in place after the sun. See that? The heavens is the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the vortex. So religion doesn't teach you that, but science shows you this when you study it. Science gives us the physical makeup of everything on the earth and in the universe. Solid, liquid, and gas composes of creation. That's what makes up creation. Solid, liquid, and gas. You can't escape that. That's corporality and that's spirituality. Simultaneously, those things exist together. See that? The periodic table of elements is the blueprint sheet on understanding everything in this cosmic logical order. From the physical, our skin is made up of carbon, our blood is made up of iron. Religion doesn't teach you this. See that? Religion got you believing, leave it all in the hands of God. He's all-knowing. That's what religion have you believing. And with that, it leaves you, the individual, in ignorance. Lack of knowledge is why people perish. You're supposed to be knowledgeable, and knowledge is science. Knowledge is knowing. So science is knowing. If you don't know, you fall into belief. A person takes on belief when they don't know something. Once you know something, you have no reason to believe it because you know it. See? Simple things like that. One-on-one again. So religion will have you believing like a kid believing in Santa Claus. It'll have you believing way out things and very abstract things that can't be solidified in concrete as you would find in science. See that? Now, in science, they believe in the Big Bang Theory, where an explosion happened and all creation came forth. Now, that is a theory based off some scientists. And it's a bullshit theory. Because you can't get nothing from nothing. You can't get an explosion without having something built up within in order for it to ignite. See that? But what nature shows us, what the science of creation shows us, is that solid, liquid, and gas is the fundamental principles of all building blocks of life. And there's a sequential order. There's a sequential order in that format of solid, liquid, and gas. Solids are a product of creation, likewise with liquid, and likewise with gas. But which came first, solid, liquid, or gas, should be the question. Because if you can understand which came first, that will give you the answer on the building blocks of creation. And the answer to that is gas. Gas is the building block of creation. The gas state is the state of nothingness as they speak of. So these minerals in its original form are gases in the cosmos. So when the Creator decides to create worlds, He starts the whirlwind, the vortex. And these minerals are gathered within the vortex, and they begin to condense at the center of the vortex, and then creation begins. Planetary creation begins. It becomes as a globe of fire. And then it is set in a position in the cosmos and it has its own orbit. And then it goes through the stages of creation. After the balling fire cools down, the mineral kingdom kicks in. That's when the planet looks like a big old rock. And then the vegetables kingdom comes into play. And then after the vegetable kingdom, the mortal or the human, the animal kingdom comes into play. And then the inhabitable time, then the time of barrenness, and then the time of death where it dissipates. That's the science of creation. From its beginning to its inhabitation to its ending. No Big Bang. Now, the science versus religion as far as the dietary customs, in the Bible it'll tell you in one instance that you should not eat animals, eat the fruit trees. And then another instance it'll tell you you could eat whatever animal you want. Or it'll give you the unclean and then clean animals, but that's bullshit, because anything dead is unclean, period. Anything dead is 100% ascetic. 99.9% ascetic are all dead things. So you can't benefit from nothing dead. That's where the science come in at. Now the science shows us that in order to keep a healthy body, we must maintain an alkaline diet. We could deal with some acids, but for the most part you want to maintain an alkalinity, because all All diseases and sickness come from acid and mucus. And if you're going to eat meat, you're going to inhabit acid and mucus. It's going to get in your bloodstreams, and in return it's going to start dysfunction in your organs, and in return it's going to start dysfunction in your bones. Because your bloodstream is connected to your organs and your bones, and they supply oxygen to those areas. So once the oxygen becomes depleted in your organs and your bones, that's when you get arthritis in your bones, you get gout in your bones, and you get hepatitis on your your liver. You get diabetes by your pancreas. You start becoming dysfunctional because of lack of oxygen that the body is getting through your food and your liquids. So if God is an all-loving God, He's not going to command you to eat flesh. He's going to give you His best fruits and vegetables and herbs for you to eat in order for you to maintain a pure body, because the purity of the body determines the connection to the Creator. Once the body is highly alkaline, there's a connection to the Creator there. Your senses will become keen. You will pick up on voices. You will pick up on signals and frequencies. You will hear them. See that? And you will pick up on these things. But if you ain't practicing that type of diet, you ain't understanding what I'm saying. You may get what I'm saying, but until you actually practice it and actually hear the voices yourself, then you will know what I'm saying. You can pick up on voices of the spirits of the dead. You can hear your own guardian angel. Your guardian angel talks to you every day. You call it yourself talking to yourself. And you ask yourself questions. That's the voice within. That's the guardian angel. That's the connection to the Creator. And that's the connection to Satan too. But you got to know the voice. Is the voice giving you a righteous message, or is the voice giving you a negative message? The voice may tell you, yo, go rob that nigga. That's not the Creator. The voice may tell you to say, yo, go this way instead of that way because there's dangers on that block. That's the guardian telling you. So as simple as that, it's as a fine line as that in order to determine how to understand, you know what I'm saying, the good and bad within. But the dietary law has a lot to play with it. Because if the body is unhealthy, evil spirits can easily inhabit an unhealthy body. But it's hard for evil spirits to inhabit a clean body. See that? The pure angels come to the clean ones. You know what I'm saying? So religion teaches us that we can eat meat, and then you have a lot of Hebrew Israelites out here talking about it's okay to eat lamb on the Passover. It's good to eat lamb at least once a year. That's bullshit. Don't fall for that. You got to break the dogmatic ideas of these false gods. Because that's who it is, the false god. Yahweh is the Creator. See that? But they got Yahweh looking like one of these tribal gods. He fights his wars. He come down, and when Yahweh come back, what you mean when Yahweh come back? You know how foolish you sound? The Creator's ever present. He ain't gone nowhere. He ain't never went nowhere. Ever present, always been. If you want to make things change around here, you got to do it. Go out there and fight the war. And the strength of the guardian angels and the Creator will be behind you if you go about your business. But if you're just going to talk about when the Creator comes, you're going to be waiting forever. It's been 2,000 years, niggas said Jesus was going to come back. They thought they was going to see Jesus in his day. They said, yo, Jesus said, when I return. And he was talking about in their day. They thought he was going to return then, and the niggas still waiting. See that? Because y'all been bamboozled about these false religions and these false gods. See that? But the science shows otherwise. The science shows that you got to redeem yourself. You got to put down the chicken. You got to put down the alcohol. Put down the cigarettes. See that? And come back to the alkaloids. That's how you're going to be healthy. That's the difference between science and religion in that factor. So I'm just touching on a couple subjects dealing with science versus religion. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings. Shalom.